Slide orders are here. So with challenges, there we go. This is my political campaign. No. I like that picture. Okay. So with challenges come opportunity. Yay! Look at that guy. You go, he says. He is very, very happy. So with challenges come opportunity. And there's Obama. That he's coming. So this, I guess, I put some other pictures in here to kind of look at our challenges. So this is what we're dealing with now. This is on the ground. This is what I think we're all going to be dealing with, right? The building industry's at a freeze. No one is looking to build more. We have enough single-family housing stock to last us, I don't even know how long. But this isn't working anymore. This pattern development is not working more. It is too expensive for cities and counties to maintain. It takes too far to drive. People aren't going to be able to afford gas to even get to their home, to work, or anything. So what do we do with this then? If this isn't working, it's broken. And so that is a big question that we are going to have to think of innovative solutions for. Oh, we got more depressing ones. Look at that one. We have cul-de-sacs, totally disconnected street system. I don't even know where you go to get some milk. I have no idea. And so, I don't know if I have a little pointer. I don't. And then how we're building our roads. I mean, I'm not surprised that people aren't walking or biking, because I don't know who would want to walk or bike on these roads. And then, this picture's been used so much in LGC presentations, it's awesome. I think we all have used it. And we always like to circle the one lone pedestrian out there. He's trying. He is out there, and he is going to make it across. And I heard in one presentation, I really liked it, how they were saying, if you want to know if a community's healthy, you got to look for the pedestrian, because they're like the indicator species. So if you see a pedestrian out there, then you know that you've designed a vital and healthy community. So you guys can use that, because I ripped it off and used it. So these are other issues. It's just, looking at our single-family housing stock that we have, just tons of, and the question is, what are we going to do with it? Ooh, look at this picture. I like this one. One of the, pretty wild. I don't know how they're going to get that out. They need a before and after picture. Another big challenge that I didn't realize, one of the first projects I worked on at Local Government Commission was watershed-based land use strategies. And I was like, I just graduated landscape architecture. I do not know what you're talking about. But it was really interesting. It was looking at how do we protect and manage our watershed by looking at the community out. So how are we building our community, and how does that protect our watershed? And a lot of watershed plans, they go out there and they're like, there's a little frog, don't touch them. Here's some bushes, leave them alone. And they go and catalog everything that you don't want to touch. Well, the things that are touching it is us. We're touching it with our roads and our buildings. So if we don't start thinking of like, well, how do we plan our cities and roads and everything else so we can protect our watershed? So that was one of the first projects I worked on at Local Government Commission, and what I realized is that we have another big issue is we have aging infrastructure. And this is a picture of that where a water main broke under the road and created a sinkhole, and there goes your fire engine. But this is a big issue that a lot of cities and counties are facing. Their water infrastructure, it's like, what's that? I was trying to think of that saying, oh, out of sight, out of mind. It's under the road, you don't see it, so, who cares? It might be 50, 80, 100 years old. And what I realized is that a lot of these water mains were put in, they were subsidized by the government, where they came out with grants, put it all in, and then the cities, then they have to replace them. Those grants aren't there anymore. And so what do? You up your rates? What community wants to say, up their rates? They've been getting away with just paying this much for so long, and then now the city has to replace their infrastructure, and they don't have grants to do it, so they have to go to the community and ask them to update their infrastructure. So this is another problem, and I'm thinking more and more, it's like, how can we build our communities in a way that we don't have to rely so much on this infrastructure that eventually gives out and maybe fails. So So, and that's the whole idea of gray infrastructure versus green infrastructure, which I think landscape architects can really take the lead on, is how do we manage our water and our storm water and our sewage and our wastewater? How do we take it out of the gray pipes and the gray facilities for treatment, and how do we start making green infrastructure to treat those things? Maybe that's a little glimpse into the future. I'm not sure, but I know that these are big problems. And so going to climate change, I stole this slide from somebody. So it says 11 of the last 12 years, from 1995 to 2006, they rank among the 12 warmest years in the instrumental record of global surface temperature. So bottom line, we're heating up, and we're heating up in a big way. So what does that mean for California? And some of the biggest things, so I think really for the future landscape architecture, you really have to become very comfortable with this climate's changing, and how is that going to change our built environment, and how are we going to adapt to that and mitigate for that. So here's some different scenarios that they're looking at. If we just keep doing what we're doing, the Sierra snowpack is going to be reduced to almost nothing, and the sea level is going to take over Los Angeles, and we are going to have some very, very warm days. The bottom scenario is based off of Governor Schwarzenegger's idea to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to 80% below 1990 levels. So that's very ambitious, and I think landscape architects have a big role in helping us do that. I don't know how we're going to do it. So, and another tie-in to talk about our health too is that it's not just obesity, but there's going to be other health effects because of our changing climate. And this is again where landscape architects, you got to be thinking about that with projects. And another thing I've noticed when you're out there in the real world is being aware of these things, because this is where the funding is going to come. There's going to be funding coming out to help communities, cities, counties adapt to climate change and health. And so as landscape architects, if you're looking for business, you might want to be aware of these issues so that you can respond to them and hopefully get some funding to do some work. So this is another thing I just had to put in here because it's pretty astonishing. These are going back to the obesity rates that are going on right now, or the obesity trends in U.S. adults. I mean, it's a big issue. The more that we can create spaces that actually get people out there walking and biking, and as you guys, we all live in Davis, so it's wonderful, right? We love to bike and walk because it's safe, it's comfortable, and it's fun. So, I mean, I think those are the three things, and I think landscape architects are good at all of those things, of making it safe, comfortable, and fun. So let's breeze through here real quick. So 1985, we have a couple states that are kind of tipping the scales here, where 10 to 14% of the population is what I think, is overweight. Okay, so as we go 5 years, it's catching on. And now they had to, in 1995, they had to create a whole new category where 15 and 19% of Americans are overweight. So as we keep going, 2000, another category is created where 20% of Americans are overweight. Again, in 2001, just a year later, they have to create another category. And we just keep going. 2002, it's taken over. I told you guys, it's taken over. And then now is it 2005, we have yet another category of 30% of adults are 30 pounds, or you guys, the BMI is over 30, so that means 30 pounds overweight for a person that's 5 foot and 4 inches. And here's 27, and we have one holdout state. What is that? That's Wyoming? No, is that Colorado? I'm horrible. Colorado. It's Wyoming, right? No, it's Colorado. Oh, goodness. I'm not professing to be a champion of anything. Geography is maybe one. And you can kind of understand why people aren't walking or biking. This is another kind of crazy statistic where the percentage of children walk or bike to school. I walk to school. I don't know, but I lived in a cute little town called Oakdale where you could still walk to school. So, but in 1974, 66%, and now 2000, 13%. I mean, that's pretty wild. Here's another looking at who's biking in North America and Europe. The little breakdown. U.S., we are not winning. We think we are winners, but we are not winning this one. Look at Holland. They are kicking our butt. And Germany.